Folks, I've got an update for you guys about the David autopsy, and there's some really, really horrible stuff in here. People have made a few new revelations. It really just goes to show you just how horrific and stupid this crime was, just how badly David allegedly tried to cover this situation up, and just what a just shocking and awful state that Celeste was left in. Okay, rest in peace to her. So I'm gonna break down some of the stuff from the full medical examination that's here. This is the full forensic report. So there's quite a lot here. There's quite a lot of pages. It's 26 pages long, but we can just focus in on some of the important stuff. But as you see here, multiple penetrating injuries, manner of death, homicide, injury occurred with objects. So it says two penetrating. So look, I already covered the brief update on the autopsy, but this is now a full breakdown. It's also got information about how she was found. Okay, so obviously we covered this earlier, but like two penetrating wounds to the torso, right abdomen with injury to the liver, left chest with penetration of underlying intercostal space and cortical disruption of adjacent ribs, bilateral dismemberment of upper and lower extremities, multiple additional skin defects. See separate toxicology report. So it says, per medical examiner investigators report, this 15-year-old female, Celeste, was found dismembered in a state of decomposition inside the car. Death was pronounced at the scene. Autopsy examination was limited by extensive post-mortem changes. So the decomposition of the body, the decay, the body was withered. Okay, it's not me making a joke, but the state that she was left in was referenced in so many of David's songs. Okay, I'm not here to make jokes. I'll address some of the stuff that's being said at the moment, but this is... Trust me, I don't find anything funny about this situation, and never ever want to make light of this. Is absolutely horrible. So it said there are two penetrating wounds of the torso with smooth edges that may represent sharp force injuries, so likely a knife. The wound on the upper abdomen penetrates the liver, and the wound on the chest penetrates the left intercostal spaces with disruption of the adjacent ribs. Bilateral upper and lower extremities show full thickness dismemberment, so completely dismembered. Multiple other skin and soft tissue defects are present without apparent associated internal injuries. So the etiology of these defects isn't apparent due to severe post-mortem changes. It says that toxicology shows the presence of a low level of ethanol, maybe due to post-mortem changes or ingestion, does not appear to be contributory to the cause of the death. Given the history and circumstances as currently known by me in setting the findings of the examination and in absence of other definitive causes of death, the death is multiple penetrating injuries and a homicide. So that's where it was made official. Okay, so this just breaks down kind of, a lot of the tests and a lot of the details about her as she was found. Which I won't get into in here, but it says here, evidence of traumatic injury. It basically says skin defect. So this is talking about specifically the wounds involving the right abdomen, 21 inches below the top of the head, 1 inch right of midline. There's a 3/4 inch length penetrating wound with smooth edges. The wound is orientated in the 3 and 9 o'clock directions. The wound track sequentially perforates the skin and soft tissue of the right abdomen and the liver. The wound track would have an approximate depth of 1 to 1.5 inches. And it says skin defect 9 to 16th inch. So this is the other wound involving the lateral left lower chest, 15 inches below the top of the head and 6 inches left of the midline, is a 9/16 inch penetrating wound with smooth edges. The wound track sequentially perforates the skin and soft tissue of the lateral left lower chest, left intercostal space, and enters the left chest cavity. The wound track has a depth of about 2 inches. Which isn't too... honestly, it sounded like a knife, just like the one David was showing off, like the one I've got here on my desk. This isn't long. I think this is an under 3-inch blade, because I believe those are legal in the United States. And that just seems like what it is. So it says multiple skin defects also present on the torso, with many perforating the skin and soft tissue without identifiable soft tissue hemorrhages or associated internal organ injuries. They range from 5/16 of an inch to 1 3/4 of an inch in greatest dimensions. Multiple superficial linear abrasions are also noted on the right dorsal hand. That sounds like attempts to cut. The upper and lower extremities show full thickness dismemberment with relatively flat cut surfaces through the soft tissue and bones. What you're about to hear is crazy. It says no discernible hemorrhages identified at these sites. Multiple fragments of blue plastic material are found embedded in the cut surfaces. Representative fragments are collected by the medical examiner criminalist and submitted to the evidence department on September the 8th. Immediately they submitted that. The right upper extremity is dismembered 9 inches from the top of the shoulder. The left upper dismembered 6 from the top of the shoulder. The left 4th and 5th fingers are amputated. The right lower extremity is dismembered in 2 places. One side is 12 inches from the top of the leg and the other is 10 inches from the bottom of the heel. The left lower extremity is dismembered in 2 places. One side is 9 inches from the top of the leg and the other is 15 inches from the top of the heel. So what a lot of people are thinking about this blue plastic, saying, why would there be blue plastic in the wounds? Well, the theory that's been given that I've seen, it says, so my husband and I were reading the autopsy report and saw the portion about the blue plastic in her wounds. This is so disgusting to even type, but he immediately said 3D printed hacksaw. Apparently that's really a thing and can be easily purchased online. They're also known to be used for bones and field dressing like hunting deer. So it appears that we have actually got the method of dismemberment, allegedly a 3D printed hacksaw, blue plastic being found, okay? It's looking like this, isn't it? 3D printed metal hacksaw, and this has a blue blade on it as well. This is apparently a thing, so let's take a look. Let's take a look. So look, this is the whole breakdown of how you can make this. I don't know if he printed it himself, if he bought it, but or it could be, you know, just a plastic hacksaw he got from somewhere else, but this is a real thing. As you can see, the blue blade there. I wonder if David watched this video, honestly. The fact that you could craft something like this so easily, and you just have to have these serrated edges that are really sharp. And you know, it's made of plastic. It's not going to be strong enough. You're not going to be able to stop teeth breaking off, cutting through bone. But as you can see, this ain't too difficult. This ain't difficult to put together. This wasn't hard, okay? And there it is. Yeah. It's actually chilling to see that. It's actually so chilling to see that. But that's now the theory, that he might have cut her up with a 3D printed hacksaw. It's just twisted, okay? Just so tired of hearing about it. So, the write-up... Oh, we already read that. Okay, so, yeah, that... I just need to digest that for a second, because that actually does look like what happened. And so what we're going to see later on in this document that I think is really interesting, that's worth looking into, is some accounts of actually how she was found. Obviously, we've got the toxicology report here, and it says alcohol was present, but that might have been produced in her body, you know, at some point else. Seems to appear that she tested positive for methamphetamine and MDMA, as well as benzodiazepines. Now, that is very, very interesting, and I haven't heard people talking about this benzodiazepine part that was found in the liver. So I do wonder what that's gonna work out being. So it's got some information about the alcohol analysis. A presumptive positive result, PP, signifies a detection of a drug class, but must be confirmed by additional testing for true identification. So I don't believe it was a significant amount. Obviously, we've already seen these pictures of exactly where the wounds were. It's really sad to see that. And then obviously this one's more comprehensive. It actually shows the cuts, multiple defects here. It looks like there were attempts. Could be more stab wounds, could be exit wounds, another defect there on the side. But these are where the cuts would have been, the severances, which is just so dark. So some of the accounts from how the autopsy went down, as well as how the car ended up getting pounded, is quite interesting as well. So we're actually going to hear what actually went down with some of the police that were present for the discovery of the body. So it says a passerby reported the abandoned black Tesla parked on the street to the LAPD. It was impounded and towed. On the 8th of September, a manager noticed a foul smell emanating from the vehicle and reported it to Auto Detective. The detective basically inspected the vehicle's front trunk, found a large black zippered body bag with handles, partially unzipped the bag, revealing a human torso in the back of a head. He pronounced death on scene at 1100 hours with no medical intervention. No person in custody at this time. Charges pending, no weapon recovered. So that's the state that the body was found in. That's the situation that investigators and police are dealing with. And they're doing the toxicology. They're finding all these stab wounds. We didn't know about this for 7 months, but day one, the cops are knowing this, right? And within a couple of months, we're getting all of the information. So there's more information here about how it went down. Basically, this is a witness statement. Basically explained how the passerby called for the car to be taken in. We already heard that information, basically. More specifically, the detective discovered the black zippered body bag with handles, partially opened it, revealed a human torso in the back of a head. Due to obvious signs of death, he pronounced the death at the scene. So it says even here, there was a description of the scene. All the vehicles parked throughout the lot. The decedent was lying inside the trunk. The Tesla was parked in the southeast corner of the lot. The front trunk was open. Yellow police tape surrounded the nearest vehicles, including the Tesla. From a distance, the black body bag was visible and exposed the inside front trunk of the car. Didn't observe any drugs, alcohol, or weapons at the scene. And so this is the body examination. observed the decedent's posterior head and torso lying prone in a body bag inside the front trunk of the Tesla. Her head was oriented towards the north. She appeared to be of indeterminate age and ethnicity, with dark hair and natural teeth. She was wearing a tube top, underwear, leggings, and socks. I observed multiple holes in the front and back of the tube top. So that's the stabbing. And again, that was information that was kept from the public while the investigation was going on. She was missing both arms above the elbows and both legs above the knees. Underneath the body bag was a black trash bag that contained the decedent's apparent compiled bilateral arms and legs. They appeared to be dismembered into several fragments, and it looked like the legs had actually been cut into two, had been cut off and then cut into two, based on actually the two cuts that I didn't notice earlier. And what's interesting is a lot of people have been pointing this out on Reddit, and they've basically been making the point to say that it was very, very stupid of David. Said, how did he screw up his alleged crime this bad? Using a body bag for the head and torso, but just a trash bag for the limbs. Some people are shocked that that is how this went down. They're saying, who has cadaver bags laying around? I noticed this too. I wonder if the dismemberment wasn't planned and he thought he was going to fit it all into one bag, but didn't, so he opted for dismembering and putting the limbs in a trash bag. It's crazy. Okay, people saying it doesn't make sense. Her whole body would have fit into a cadaver bag. It's designed for a whole body. He probably dismembered her because he thought it was an easier disposal and more easy to transport a couple of parts than a full body. I don't know if we're ever going to understand what his mindset was during this time. I wonder if he will ever, if he pleads guilty and speaks out, that would be a long shot, right? Because then why not place the trash bag with the limbs inside the cadaver bag once the torso is in the front? Why leave the thin trash bags on its own? On its own, it makes no sense. Aren't cadaver bags made to prevent liquid and decomposition from seeping through? I don't know. So anyway, it goes on to say the decedent was in an advanced stage of decomposition demonstrated by foul odor, discoloration, liquefaction, insect activity, partial skeletonization, and skin slippage. So just awful state that she was left in, allegedly by David. Whoever's responsible for this, allegedly, in some people's opinion, is just one of the most depraved examples of a human being I could possibly imagine to leave someone in this state. Child makes it even worse, but nobody of any sort, of any age, should go out like this, and it's just absolutely disgraceful. So I noticed a 1-inch linear defect on her abdomen and a circular defect on her left flank. The left ring and pinky fingers appear to have been mutilated. I did not locate them during my scene examination. She has a tattoo that reads shush on the inside of her right index finger. I did not observe any discernible scars or tattoos. The decedent was not ID viewable due to decomposition of the face and was not live scanned due to waterlogged fingers. So just awful state, right? They were eventually identified by dental radiograph comparisons. And again, to leave someone in such a state that you have to go through the dental records is just unfathomable. Crazy. So this is reports of LAPD officers that went on the scene. And we've got a little bit more information about how that went down. So prior to my arrival, the front was open and the body bag was unwrapped and open to view the decedent. The decedent was dismembered in a large black body bag, black trash bag, severely decomposed, decomposition fluid on the outside and inside of the bags. The decedent was female, had dark hair with decomposition fluid and insect activity. Also, insect activity was observed on the body and the body bag. The body bag had a double zipper, 3 handles on each length side, and a handle on the top and bottom width end. Wait a minute. See, I was thinking for a minute, maybe this, famous picture of him with the tarpaulin and the bloody shirts that was taken just days after, I believe, the alleged murder. I was thinking for a minute, maybe that's it, but it's they said cadaver bag. This is a black tarpaulin. I think they would have said if it was that. So yeah, I'm not going to say that that's what it was. But I wanted to just check that. Anyway, so the body bag had a double zipper, 3 handles on each length side, a handle on the top and bottom width end. The body bag took up most of the front space. Inside the front, the body bag contained the decedent's head and torso in a prone position. The decedent's head pointed north and the thighs pointed south. The trash bag was at the south end of the front. Beneath the body bag, the trash bag was tied and contained the decedent's dismembered limbs and arms with hands and legs with feet. The decedent's arms were cut and removed at the bicep and the legs were cut and removed above and below the knee. Before moving the body bag, the handles and zippers were swabbed. So they were looking for DNA. Wonder if they got it. The body bag and trash bag were moved from the front and placed on a plastic sheet. The decedent was then removed from the bags and put on another plastic sheet. Their left hand was missing the ring and pinky fingers. The decedent was wearing a discolored tube top, discolored underwear, black leggings, and black socks. The shirt appeared to have had 3 cut artifacts. The leggings were cut around the knees, with the upper portion of the torso and lower portions rolled down to both ankles and the feet. and the cut side of the right leg attached to the torso, at the cut site of the right leg attached to the torso, there were small blue plastic pieces. So they knew that straight from just looking. That wasn't even the mortician. People from the scene noticed the blue plastic in those areas. And the legs and arms from the trash bag had small blue plastic pieces at the cut site. So they collected a whole bunch of evidence. They did a head hair kit, sealed that in a biohazard bag. They even collected the insects in a plastic container with alcohol and sealed those in a paper. So they even collected the insects. That's crazy. Okay. They swabbed the handles of the body bag, all the different parts of the body bag to try and get DNA. They also found items cut from the body bag, packaged and sealed separately. That includes the top and bottom handles wrapped together, body bag side handles, the zipper. So they swabbed all of those and they cut them and they brought those in as evidence. David better hope that he ain't got no DNA, fingerprints, and any of that shit. They also collected the blue plastic pieces, as well as the clothing and the bags itself. So that's the end of that, okay? So I'm honestly like a little bit just disgusted by even reading that. And I just think it's just so sad and just so depraved that this is actually what was done. But anyway, yeah, if people saying it's absolutely evil, I genuinely don't know what to say other than rest in peace. This is so devastating. The way they found her and the way the body was treated by that piece of shit. She was a child. Oh my God, it is diabolical. I'm shaking. It's horrendous. Please don't open the contents if you're sensitive to violence. It's only a medical report, but these are things that happen to a child, so it's hard not to picture the violence. Missing eye and 2 fingers, one of them being the David tattoo. It's crazy, okay? And they're thinking he was still stabbing her after she was deceased. Yeah. It's crazy. Okay, so yeah, bro, I'm speechless. I just don't even want to go into this. Like, I don't know. I don't even think I can read comments. It's actually just so fucked up. So look, I'm digging deep into this. Okay, look, I'm one of the few people I think that really pushed this story, really tried to keep this investigation alive. I'm not trying to say that I'm taking credit for anything that happened, but what I will say is that, like, I'm going to keep talking about this. I think we do need to preserve all of this information. We need to preserve all of this evidence. I don't think it interferes with the investigation. And if and when allegedly David ends up going down for murder, I think all of this coverage, all of these breakdowns, all of this documentation of him just being a depraved and absolutely disgusting and demented individual needs to be preserved. And that's what we're doing here. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't make me happy. I'm not getting any enjoyment out of covering this. You know, I think it's just really important. So look, I'm going to keep you guys posted. I've got like 3 other videos I want to make about this. I might do them today. I might do them tomorrow. But there's more and more evidence coming out every day. I'm digging deeper, trying to find information and get that to you guys as soon as possible. That's all I'm trying to do. Okay, I think it's a really important story. I think it's really important that David is held to account. I think it's really important we document all of this effed up history. So, you know, say what you want about me. I'm not going to stop talking about David. He would have loved for me to stop talking about him when this was all going on. When he was holed up in the Hollywood Hills and I was dropping videos on him constantly saying he's going to get caught. Not we going to get him, but we as a society are going to get this sick, twisted freak off the streets. He was probably holed up in that Hollywood home, probably caught a couple of vids. You know, these celebrity narcissists love to watch videos about themselves. So he probably was pissed. He would have loved for me to stop talking about him, and it's not going to happen. Don't care what anyone says. So anyway, let me know what you think of that. No disrespect at all intended. Very, very sad. And yeah, I apologize for even having to put all of this across to you, man. So yeah, that's it. All right. See you in the next one.